dominate this against ISURUS' side. Though if he's slouching and lounging, then ISURUS have themselves a pretty good chance.
Okay, and off to pistol round we go with the majority of Renegades heading over. Well, actually, it's more of a 2-2. We're seeing two players over towards that A ramp, as well as two taking into those B tunnels, with one just waiting for the mid push. ISURUS, on the other hand, they're playing a heavy B stack to start this pistol round off. It does look like they're going to send the bomb out, maybe to draw rotations, and they're going to pull it all the way back to B. I love this strat and everything about it.
I don't know if the bomb was actually spotted, though.
Yeah, that could be the issue, right?
It may have not even been seen. Renegades intentionally showed that bomb in A main, threw some smokes out there, too, to try and pull these ISURUS players off. Currently, they've got Myron and Noxy that are backside of the hole right now, thinking about coming back towards the B side. The two defenders over there, 1962 and Reversive. Just now, the fireworks begin. Jacob is going to draw first blood, but he can't find cover over by the bench quite yet. There is no safe ground right now for the Renegades to be able to plant this bomb, and it's allowing more rotations to come in. All hands are on deck right now for ISURUS. Moving in, they don't have the bench cleared out, so Leas just chills and allows Reversive to back right up into him, leaving Myron all alone. He would need another miracle, just as he had done in the first round against MIBR, but not going to happen.
Yeah, I love that pistol round out of Renegades. Essentially, they're throwing a little bit of an A fake, but the big thing is that they're showing the bomb.
Yeah.
What that's going to do is it's going to prompt a call out of the ISURUS player playing towards Ticket Booth. Once that bomb shows up on radar, all 5 members of the ISURUS side realize, oh, this could be an A hit. We saw the bomb, and that's usually the indication for when you should rotate, is when the bomb is seen. But Renegades actually opt to move back towards B, and you see it on the CT setup. They were very disorganized. A couple players playing in the same spot, trying to get back into the B bomb site, and Renegades takes a fairly easy pistol round.
Yep, they caught a couple of those players in transition in the market, or just behind the market, and having a player that was in jungle to stop that and slow that down was just enough for the Renegades to be able to perceive victory out there. Catching 1962 with a grenade in hand was Smuya, and you lose an additional player in the ladder room as well. It looks like the rifles are dominating against the force buy from ISURUS. Noxy, though, has shown that he's really good with any kind of scoped weapon. He lays one down and wounds Leas as well, but he's not going to be any match for the remaining 3 that were encroaching onto that B site.
Yeah, it was a force buy out of the CT side. So now falling in this round, I do imagine Max is going to look to keep that UMP, maybe pick up a couple kills, but it will be ISURUS, the majority of them moving on to a full eco, except with the exception of Max. If he does keep that UMP, Renegade should be able to farm up some money. I'm looking to Azza as well as Jacob to really get that cash going as Max picks up his first $600.
And he's going to dump a smoke here. That could work doubly so. If he had got that a little bit deeper, there would be a weapon that could be
in a bomb site, though.
Yeah, well, Max wants to stay alive most certainly here. He's not only has this UMP, his head armor, he also has that CZ that can be handed over to a teammate in the next round.
Azza should be able to pick this one up. Max now moving into window, though, so Azza isn't going to be able to see him in this moment. He just might be able to get one more in this situation.
I think he'll just end up staying alive with no further casualties on the round, which is great for ISURUS. They'll be able to have 2 weapons on the field in the next round. Max will throw the CZ at somebody and wish them the best of luck. But the Renegades are still cruising right ahead against mostly an unarmored team.
Right. Looking at it right now, it's going to be Smuya with that UMP, so I imagine Smuya is going to be taking that first entry. He's going to be taking that first step towards either site. He's going to be looking to get those kills, farm up some cash, and maybe move towards an op going into the next round.
Yeah, that's what he doesn't necessarily need to take that leap, though. I'm sure there might be a casualty or 2 on Renegades, which would then warrant the final purchase into the op. But let's say Renegades come out of this round with nary a scratch. They might even think about keeping that UMP on the field somewhere and just try and get a little bit greedy. Right now, they've isolated Noxy, who's going to try and reassemble his CZ in this little back closet. He actually gets the kill, finally traded out. That is a valuable trade right there. Especially so. So there's your first draw of blood against the Renegades. I'd like to see that UMP get swapped out for the AK that's down there in the underpass, though.
Yeah, there you go. Smuya heading on down towards that AK. Reverses the final member left. Jacob is going to take him down. That's 2 on the round for Jacob. And Renegades are going to find themselves going up 3-0. As we move into this first gun round for ISURUS.
Okay, and with that 1 casualty, yes, that warrants the purchase of the AWP. That's going to be picked up. ISURUS now on that 4th round rather, for the CT side. It's usually the utility that suffers here a bit, especially if you went for that 2nd round force buy. So you see, it's not full grenades for everybody. Myron's short 1, 1962 is short 1 as well, and then Noxy, of course, purchasing the op is really going to be short when it comes to utility, but he's going to be buried in the scope for the most part.
Renegades now looking towards middle to start this round. We're seeing a double up towards lower from the ISURUS side. Myron will be making that first contact on his own. Able to find 1 onto Jacob. A lot of damage being done, and Max and Liaz, I do believe, are on the other side of each other, and Max is going to get the better of him as Smooya does take down 1962.
Myron is being an absolute pest here in the bottom of mid. He had a one-way smoke, and I think there was a second smoke that ended up being down there with Noxy chilling out. Great flashbang, but a greater shot from Smooya, while blinded and a little disoriented, has evened it out to 3v3. But look how wounded you are if you're the Renegades, and they're worried about what's going on behind them. I think Bomb is actually controlled by Max. It is absolutely so, but this is a really tough spot to hold alone.
Well, Max is in a great position, and he's aware of JKS as well towards these A apartments right now. So as the clock just starts to wind down, if Smooya gets taken down here by Max, I mean, JKS on such low HP, I don't think there's going to be much of a trade opportunity, but that's a great flash to push him off.
And does he challenge this? 45 seconds. It's not necessary for him to hold on to this bomb outright.
It's going to be hard for JKS in this situation. Luckily, though, Max has fallen back towards A, so the bomb will be recovered. Noxy now peeking window is going to be able to catch off Azza, and Smooya, is he going to beat Noxy towards this Palace peak?
Max is still biting on the idea that the bomb could be in the neighborhood, but the information coming from Noxy has heard a player that is leaked out into the site. It's op versus off at point-blank range, essentially. He's searching for one another. JKS needs to get into the site cleanly. 15 seconds and 5 HP for him to get in, and it's all hands on deck for ISURUS. Making their way in. Nice shot from Smooya. 8 seconds. Max just needs to take down this bomb planter at 5 HP and then disappear. Bomb is stuck down. It's 1v1 now. Great shot from Max, and it's going to be a difficult task for JKS. It really comes down to his one-shot opportunity against the dome of Max, but he secures that round, and ISURUS are on the board.
A very costly round for the CT side, though, only being able to keep one person alive. They do recover the op, so Noxy's going to get that back in his hands. But Renegades, even though they do fall in that round, they made it very expensive for the CT side to come out of it.
Yeah, that's a great way to lose. You got the bomb plant in there. There was only one survivor. It cost you a lot of money, but in the idea of ISURUS, it cost them almost as much, if not a little bit more.
Exactly. You're seeing 2 UMPs show up.
Yeah, and you're still fully kitted for the Renegade side. They've got ops and op and AKs. Their utility does suffer a bit, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Obviously favoring their smokes for whichever execute they choose, and it looks to be fairly standard for an A site.
Yeah, Renegades right now, you see them setting up those smokes outside of that A bomb site with the 2 entries going up towards the ramp. The solo player in the site, Max, will he be able to hold this one down?
Oh, they're head
or
of the
will
smoke.
Myron get involved as well?
They might trust this smoke far too much. The T's are so deep into the site already. They made their way into the bench before gunfire erupted. 3 versus 3 right now, and great angle from Noxy right now.
Huge.
A difficult spot to be able to smoke off, but he has a clear line of sight. Azza is down, and now it's JKS and Smooya who have planted the bomb, and Smooya is underneath Palace right now, and he's going to be really tucked in tight. A grenade rattles off behind him, and it looks like a Molotov lands at default, not though at Firebox. So JKS has a little bit of real estate to play with, but it's not nearly enough with Noxy breathing down. It's Smooya 1v3, now 1v2. Difficult shot. He has the next one straight to the head and the box. Almost pulls up a no-scope. He was ready to pull the trigger. Another expensive round for ISURUS.
Yeah, they're able to pull off their second round now just in the nick of time, as it did look like that bomb was actually going to tick away. A good effort by Smooya there on that A hold, but ISURUS really on the back of Noxy once again getting those 2 huge kills as Renegades is moving into the site. That's the first one there, and then he's going to move towards stairs and actually pick above this smoke and catch the player moving towards CT spawn. That turns it into a 3v2 situation there, Dallas, and from that point on, ISURUS just need to play the trade game, and yeah, Smooya makes it look really difficult for them to actually win that round, but in the end, Reversive taking him down, getting the defuse, is going to be ISURUS' second round on the board.
And I like this from Renegades. This is the call I was starting to scratch my head about. Do they go for the force buy with this being such an expensive round, a couple of rounds for ISURUS? They can definitely get some pistols and do a lot of damage. And the bomb plants that have been coming in for Renegades as well are also supporting the idea of how effective a force buy could be.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Renegades, at least investing a little bit of pistol armor and the chance of having success in this round, just due to the fact that, like you just mentioned, ISURUS' economy really hasn't gotten too far up. So if Renegades are able to pull off this round here, they're going to put ISURUS onto an eco, maybe a little bit of a force buy at the same time, but Renegades will be back in the driver's seat of this first half.
Just got to get past this one little task, and ISURUS can then take the lead. As they'll throw the smoke into mid, and it looks like the bomb making its way towards the B direction. But you've lost your first body. It's going to be Liaz, and I believe that was down into the underpass. Yes, it was. 2 bodies were down there, and 1 will escape with nary a scratch. So the Renegades now are going to try and even clamber a little bit further from behind. They got a couple deagles that can hurt you at distance, but 1962 would be your most exposed player right now, and Myron could come across the top side of the connector and support him if need be.
Yeah, 1962 looks like he wants to peer off of that catwalk. He is going to do exactly that. Makes a little bit of contact with JKS, but not able to finish up the kill. It does look like ISURUS just bottling up, playing it very tight on this eco round otherwise. As we're going to see 3 members towards that A bomb site, and the solo hold from Reversive here with that UMP by the default box on B.
If it's heading this direction, this is actually a good opportunity to just mad rush B if they can, play contact and then run in. Reversive has a UMP out here, and how destructive Renegades have been against the economy, this is an impact of that. The UMP, 25 bullets in a dream. 1962 is here with a FAMAS to help things out, but they've got the first. Looking for the second out there as well as 1962 trying to defend himself. He falls. Now the bomb could be planted yet again for the Renegades. Another $800, assuming they just don't win this round. They are outnumbered now 3-2, and they don't have the real utility to keep these guys at distance.
Yeah, that's a nice Molotov coming out from the side of ISURUS now, allowing that retake to take place. Smooya, no armor. Aza on 12 HP. What's he able to do? Gets one. Unable to get any more than that as Noxie takes him down, and ISURUS are going to tie this one up, Dallas.
They have. And if they can continue to fight dirty like this and keep the Renegades' money from ever blossoming, they can keep the ops out of Smoothie's hands. They can just continue to interrupt any kind of flow before Renegades can settle down. If the Renegades, though, are able to build a really strong concrete foundation of themselves, like say Renegades win 4 or 5 rounds in a row, and you're sitting on $8,000, I doubt that ISURUS will be able to overcome that, because you would have to beat the Renegades 2 or maybe even 3 times, depending on extra bomb plants and loss bonus on top of that, with rifles.
Yep.
You have to keep interrupting the Renegades.
Does look like Smoothie is going to take a very aggressive pick towards the connector, able to take down Noxie, who's peering off towards middle. Noxie did do quite a bit of damage to Jacob, but unable to connect on the kill. He will be punished for it, and a man advantage now in favor of Renegades.
That was a nice peek. Smoothie pushed through that smoke that was on catwalk, anticipating that Noxie was going to be, or somebody was going to be in that connector. And it cost you a bit of damage, and Jacob, he caught one into the upper thigh, but he survives from that op. And Renegades are happy about this. They'll even find another kill. 1962 falls, pushing aggressively in Palace. And you see this quite a bit with teams. If they lose a body early on, they'll try and recoup some of that with aggressive play. You can still see aggressive play that's coming over towards the B side. Azer's so close to Myron right now, but Myron's able to clear his line of sight first as that smoke fades. And as I mentioned before, Reversive is pushing through B apartments. He's actually all the way to the top side of the stairs, and he's going to come down from underneath. This could be a perfect opportunity to catch the Renegades as they start to set up for an A strike.
This is when it starts getting scary now. Is Reversive able to get up towards the bottom of this connector before Renegades head on into the A bomb site?
They've spotted Myron. They will bury him in the backside of the jungle, and there's that backstab from Reversive. He has to play from 1v3 from behind. He's going to try and make himself as small as possible in connector, but not small enough. And Renegades do recover out of that, even though there was some potential. Renegades played ahead from that point, but ISURUS were a little bit more mobile. Renegades just a little bit ahead of that speed of ISURUS trying to work a flank.
Well, if ISURUS were able to actually Molotov that top of connector, or even hold back the T's from pushing through that connector, we would have seen Reversive's flank come to fruition, and he probably would have picked up Smooya as well as the second kill on, I do believe it was Liaz, towards that stairs. But unfortunately, Renegades, they do make it up into that A bomb site. They do hit their entries, and by that time, it's just too little, too late for Reversive to get anything going.
Well, they stack up the A site right now. Molly's in. JKS is just going to hold down Mouse 1, gets himself a 3 spray.
Okay.
Would have had the 4th as well, but Azar wanted a piece of it. Noxie's able to get himself one little piece of the action before he falls.
Fairly clean round.
Yeah, really clean, and that's what I was talking about. If their money starts to blossom, which it absolutely did, huge net positive for the Renegades on that round. Their money, if it gets towards that 8,000 mark, is going to be a problem for ISURUS. So they're going to buy up in this round and try and make that interruption as I'm talking about.
It does look like, ooh, okay. This force spike coming out from ISURUS, it's going to net them 3 SMGs here, Dallas. Not really too much of a fan of this just because of the firepower that Renegades has and the way Renegades are taking their engagements here. They're really being patient. They're really taking those long-distance fights, clearing out angles. So if one of these ISURUS players get forced out into a long-distance battle, well, they're really going to find themselves buried 6 feet under.
They are getting pretty close to losing Noxie here. He had poked out on Catwalk and was looking to take some kind of peek in an angle, but he got spammed through the smoke. So if you're thinking about the RNG, a couple bullets hit him in the chest or legs, and he could have gotten taken down in the head. Reversive with that UMP again. Not bad to trade 1 for 1. And there's Noxie from Catwalk. He's able to at least assert some force on this B site and make it uncomfortable for them to approach. A lot of damage has been dealt to him, and that early damage that started off this round seems to be what was going to unearth him from that, and it's 2v3 now. Bomb's still not planted, and I doubt it will get planted at this point. It's just going to come down to a raw fight.
Not really an opportunity for ISURUS to get much going there as Myron tries to force the issue by bench. Jumping through that smoke, he's taken down very easily by Jacob. Now it's on Max, and I do believe he spots Smooya, able to take down the bomb carrier, not able to take down Jacob by that bench, and Azza now moving in. Isn't even needed as Jacob pulling off a 4K on the round, Dallas. Phenomenal effort out of him.
And so, okay, ISURUS tried to get a little bit ahead of when we anticipated. I was thinking maybe a little bit of a half buy there, and then they'd have a full buy in this round with full utility and everything. But they thought, oh, maybe we can just get in there before the Renegades can start to sprint away from us. But it didn't seem to be the case. Now they're going to have to take a step back and punt. And it'll be just vanilla here at this point. But we've seen what ISURUS can do with vanilla pistols. Yesterday they did it with Glocks.
Oh, yeah.
They beat MIBR with just Glocks. And we'll see what they do with a flashbang in this round and a couple of USPs.
Well, Reversive's able to find Jacob, and now Noxie takes down Azza, so they've made this quite expensive here for the Renegade side. And now as Smooya moves into the site, he too shall fall, and that's a 2-on-2 right now.
Like
AK's recovered as well by the
like
CT
this.
side.
Man,
yeah,
it's
not like this,
really
Dallas.
good at vanilla, man. It's pretty spicy. Myron's 1v2 now. He does have himself a chance. Top side of connector is smoked off as he clears his vision coming through the top of this one. Looks like a flashbang digs him in, and they might know exactly where he's at. Molotov right on top of him, and JKS gets the final shot. So yes, it was an expensive round, but I'm more impressed that ISURUS were able to stay even on the trades with just USPs. And at that point, you're giving yourself better and better opportunities as you whittle away how many Renegades have rifles.
Yeah, especially looking at Renegade's money right now. Yeah, they built themselves up another buy, but at the same time, that's all they've really got. So for the CT side right now, this round, if they're able to take this out of the Renegades' hand, get themselves a 4th on the board, Renegades will be looking at maybe one more full buy until they're onto an eco. So this is a good opportunity for the Argentinian side to actually get themselves back into this game.
Well, if they don't get themselves back into the game right now, it's going to start to look like a landslide or shape up that way. Myron taking the fight. 1962, what a saving grace. He pokes out, saves Myron's life, and takes 2 players with him before he falls. JKS and Smooya now are playing from behind. Excellent trades in mid for ISURUS. They still have that control if they so want, but Reversive, he's been doing pretty well on this B site alone. It's usually been a 1-for-1 trade for him, and he delays things for Noxie as he would arrive. But this time, Reversive's not going to get what he's accustomed to. JKS with a 2-man entry, leaving Noxie all by his lonesome. Coming across jungle now with an AWP of all things to try this clutch. Yeah,
that was a great little play by JKS, waiting on the flash from Smooya, and then he's just going to wide swing off of that B-Hall's balcony, catch the first player off, and then we see the trader actually rotating into the site, trying to take down Smooya, who's coming out of that B apartments, and then JKS picks up his second, and from that point, it's pretty easy round for Renegades to close out, as you just saw.
Yeah, Reversive really just needed that first kill, and we're not going to fault him at all. It was JKS that just stomped his way into that
I felt
site.
like Reversive was doing a little too much in that moment. Like, he pushed all the way up towards those B tunnels just to throw a flash. At the moment, he could have just anchored up, played for the one-and-done spot, most likely got that one, as, you know, ISURUS have had no problem getting those easy frags. And so, by moving around, he kind of put himself in a predicament where not only did JKS hear that nade being thrown, but he also knows at that point, all right, he's got to be tight to me because I hadn't seen him push back into sight. And JKS capitalizes on that with a flash from Smooya. He's able to move out into the site, pick up the first kill, swing right towards that bench, pick up the second player trying to come into the site, and Renegades just steal that round away from them.
Yeah, the kill trade was there early for ISURUS, so they have those sparks, but right now the timing's not quite right for them, it seems. So they're back down to some pistols. It's already a successful T-half so far for the Renegades, and even more so, the 3 rounds that ISURUS had managed to take away from the Renegades got bomb plants in every one of those rounds. Yeah. So I mean, they're showing dominance on their T side. Jacob will take 1962 to start things off. There's been a lot of contesting for mid. did so far in this match, but a nice speedy run for Jacob here as he drops a smoke on the corner, rounds it into the B site from Catwalk, and ISURUS are in the wrong place at the wrong time as they were leaning towards an A stack.
Yeah, it's going to be an easy round for Renegades here. We are seeing the CTs rotate over 4 people towards Market. Jacob's on the scene, able to find 2 here. But is he going to keep on going? It does look like he wants more. Jacob wants the action, Dallas.
Yeah, and there's no reason to actually push these guys right now. They might see a couple upgraded pistols on the ground here in the market from Jacob, but there's a lot of loss bonus. So they know that this is a half buy from ISURUS. So they know rifles are coming in the next. So don't give them a fight where they might be able to take an AK home with them. But they still look to make a problem with it. Nice shot from Myron. Smooya from a long shot. I don't know where that shot even came from. May have even been through the wall. So he'd get a wallbang credit for that. But Renegades take that easy one. 9th on the board, looking to make double digits here. But you got rifles for ISURUS.
Yeah, unfortunately for the CT side, though, this is really where they got to start making their stand, Dallas. They can't afford to lose any more rounds right now, and there's that wallbang you were talking about from Smooya. The final kill coming up from Azza as he makes his way in towards window. But for the CT side, Dallas, they got to make their stand now. It's getting to the point where if Renegades run away with this, even make it 11-4, Renegades has such a strong CT side on Mirage that they can just pull this one off 16-4 very easily.
Oh,
Noxie.
Smooya didn't pull the trigger on that. Had him lined up, but there was a grenade there that had just burst, and so there might have been a little bit of clouding in his vision. And it is, in fact, Noxie that takes the win off that duel. Smokes come now into the A site. Remaining 4 players for Renegades make their way in. Max at the default box right now. He's got 2 players, Myron and Noxie, that are over towards the jungle side, and they are smoked off. So it's really up to Max right now to win the fight, but he doesn't spot Liaz, who is camouflaged against the wall in some fashion or another, because Max swung out with no reaction to his presence. 4v4, Noxie still stands, and he's going to be the impactful player to peer into this site. A brand new Molotov's here, and he just flirts on the edge of the smoke, trades back and forth, orange and blue, but it is evened up 2-2 right now as the bomb is planted. Luckily enough, Renegades were able to take Noxie out of that position at ticket booth. Molly's burned behind Jacob. He's forced way outside, and it's 1962 versus Azza.
Good opportunity here for 1962 to make something happen. Azza playing towards this Tetris box on the lower side, holding this off angle. 1962 looking like he's going to be able to clear it, able to pick up the frag, and ISURUS get their 4th on the board.
Yeah, they really needed that round. But again, and again, they win a round with 1 surviving. That's the 3rd time that's happened. The only other time that they had won a round, it was 2 surviving.
Yeah.
So, I mean, ISURUS is just bleeding. Renegades are forcing it right to their throat, and it's so dangerous for ISURUS. They are able to scrounge together enough economy here to be able to buy up the off so that Noxie can make as much impact as he possibly can. He's currently glass cannon with $1,200, so yeah, there's a chest armor purchase and 2 grenades. So it's really do or die from here on out for ISURUS. They need to win out the half to even have a hope for the second half.
It does look like we're going to see some aggression here as 1962 charging up towards this middle. In response, the Renegades players are going to force themselves right out. Noxie not able to connect on towards that shot by top middle. And it does look like Renegades have accomplished step 1, taking mid control.
Yeah, they took mid without even really taking any serious damage. They're in fact flirting and harassing Reversive over at the B site as well. There's presence almost everywhere right now for the Renegades, but you're right. Everywhere involves, in fact, behind them. Noxie's going to be surprised that there's a T-Ray. Oh, he missed the shot! It went right in front of Azza. Now he can try and take down Reversive on this B site. It is get behind enemy lines. Reversive tucks in behind the van. There's nowhere to go. He, though, did get 1 kill, which is something he's been doing well on this B site. It's awkward. It's an awkward take, and it's, in fact, difficult for me to believe that the Renegades somehow ended up on the rear end of this trade.
Now 1962 gets taken down as well as Noxie, as JKS up in those apartments with the AWP, dropping these ISURUS members. Max, the final member alive with that MP9, he's got nowhere to go, Dallas, so he's going to be looking for the save. And just as quickly as we saw the Argentinian side come to life, well, Renegades are going to put them right back to sleep.
It's amazing that the Renegades were able to get like everywhere on the map. I mean, they were scattered, and that's what you can do when you have such confidence in your team, to have individual dominance against any opponent. So if you're thinking of mixing and matching, if you've got Azza versus Noxie or Liaz versus 1962, one way or another, he steals an M4. That's why he was lurking around.
There's an op in there.
It's been scattered about. Hey, still 1 kill, but that's not going to matter.
The op was in the exact same spot as the M4 because Noxie went down in that marketplace. So I'm really surprised that Max didn't actually make the attempt to go for that op. Maybe he didn't want to leave himself exposed for that long, wanted to go for the easy gun. But here are those shots coming out from JKS.
Those kills came so quickly. Asa and JKS getting 3 kills so rapidly.
Essentially just flipping the round on his head.
ISURUS had the man advantage, and it was 4v3, and all of a sudden it's 1v4 or 1v3. It's just a tough spot. Now you're 6 rounds down. You need to capitalize and have the last punctuation mark on this half and make it a 5-10. Regardless, though, it's adding up more and more pressure with each round that goes to Renegade's side. What a nade. That it adds pressure to the pistol round that ISURUS would be forced to win.
Jacob spots Max jumping there, but Noxie actually, who's playing towards lower from the start of the round, able to take down Jacob. We are going to see Liaz now moving his way towards lower B to trade this one out.
Pretty open smokes into this A site. The bomb's still way back into its default drop position behind the T side of the apartments. And playing for picks seems to be the name of the game. Aza's going to get 2, and that'll even things out. And Renegades have always played so well with this. But that single smoke that they threw to the stairs, they advanced JKS all the way into the site or underneath the stairs. He'll throw a grenade, maybe as his last will and testament. At 1 HP, he still is alive and is being an absolute pest. Another headshot. JKS and Smooya, 5 HP combined. ISURUS do have a shot at this round.
This is where it gets scary as Reversive has made his way towards those B tunnels. Liaz not going to be expecting this, gets taken down, Dallas. And now with only 35 seconds on the clock, Renegades have to recover this bomb, move into the site with a combined 5 HP.
And Reversive hears Smooya,
there you go.
So he just waits for him. One in a dream. There's more CTs alive than JKS has hit points. And with 23 seconds, suddenly the clock is going to be against him too. So this is a mad dash sprint. It has to come down to kills.
It's going to be 10-5, yeah.
It has to come down to kills, straight up. He'll dump his last little grenade in there with a flashbang. They pull off. They know that he can't really plant the bomb in time either. So JKS just runs past it looking for a kill, and
Smart
he's not going to get it. So, yeah, well played by ISURUS.
Yeah, just falling off, not giving JKS even the opportunity.
15-5, well above that 3 KDR wrap. Like, that is insane.
Yeah, JKS is definitely a staple in anything successful that Renegades has going for them. Well, it's going to be coming through JKS. I mean, you still have phenomenal players throughout the team, but it's always JKS who stands out to us. But looking at this round right now, ISURUS throwing a couple smokes over towards that A bomb site. A pretty standard hit right now. JKS, the man we were talking about, by Ticket Booth, ready to defend.
It's a retake strategy. You can see already JKS backing off of that Ticket Booth. They're allowing Jacob to take his run all the way back through T-spawn. And usually teams, if they're given all this territory, will push into Ticket Booth. ISURUS are doing that right now, but Renegades are allowing them to get into these positions. Let them take those peaks, those shoulder peaks. Allow this flank to develop, and they'll slowly just erode ISURUS. 1 kill at a time. Noxie and Reversive now outnumbered 2-to-1 odds. Now Noxie in a 3-to-1 situation, he will too fall. So Renegades allow them into the site intentionally. For, I mean, it was early aggression from Jacob. He was in behind on that flank so fast.
Generally what you see when T's take that Ticket Booth area is they're going to stack up towards the right side there, and they're just going to hold fast. They're going to wait for that pop flash retake, and that's where the battle comes in between the CTs and the Ts. Instead, ISURUS decide that, hey, we want to fight in CT spawn. And what that ends up is it opens them up to so many different angles, distant angles, the back in the APC angle, as well as a tight, very close angle, which JKS was playing. And ISURUS aren't able to really capitalize on any of those frags. Renegade's able to just dismantle them towards that spawn, and then progress with that retake fairly easily.
Yeah, same thing as well. As if you're going to push all the way into Ticket Booth, that's going to allow Jacob to make a lot more work on that long flank. He has fewer players to deal with on the back lines. He could just slowly take them apart piecemeal. ISURUS, though, with a bomb planter, just going to settle down, use that money to purchase a couple more nicer pistols. Deagles, some CZs. Smooya's been jumping and searching, but he hasn't spotted them. Now he realizes they are right underneath him. Throws a Molotov, but it's not in time. Max is able to get up at him, and Max struggles with a shot, but Smooya flicks and backhands him with the scoped scout. It is 4v4 at least. ISURUS were able to get 1 kill against Jacob here, and your defense is split 2-2 right now with even Smooya still sitting in that jungle side. So there's a lot of angles, especially to this A site, to only have 2 players responsible for.
Smooya just screaming, get that ish out of here. Yeah. Knocking him right back out of the window there. Renegades now find themselves in a 4-on-4, as it does look like ISURUS will be favoring actually a regroup towards A, while Renegades are gambling on that B bomb site, Dallas.
Yikes. So JKS has the most appropriate weapon to deal with a 1v4 situation. He's got the AUG. However, Reversive has picked up the M4 that Jacob dropped. He's going to allow everybody's unarmored, but he's allowing unarmored targets to stand out in front of him to act as the decoys so that he can have a shot against JKS here. Oh, there it is. The flashbang is what was useful there. Reversive has a clean shot. Smooya, though, from the flank side. Oh, he gets a little bit of a collateral damage there. 1962 and Reversive caught that scout, and then Aza gets the next two. The bomb has not been planted, and this is still dangerous for the Renegades, but they recognize... Actually, there's a flubbed Molotov, but still, the effect is the same. There's no chance to win this round. Just don't get clocked right here. You want to have your money.
Liaz might get him.
Oh, man, that did get spooky. Now, having no reward money at the end of that round is one thing, but holding an M4 is valuable. Yeah, he was getting more money with the M4.
Especially because they're moving into a gun round right now. So as long as he kept that M4, got himself a little bit of armor, he was doing just fine. Renegades, on the other hand, losing so many people within that round win. Well, look at their money, Dallas. We're going to see some MP9s make it to the field here. I do believe JKS might even be getting dropped a weapon. Is there one in spawn? Yeah, he's going to be picking up a FAMAS? No, an AUG by the looks of it. So he actually ended up dropping a couple weapons for his teammates. But ISURUS right now, going into this gun round, are definitely in the advantageous situation.
Yeah, they are. Temporarily. So full rifles against a smattering of SMGs and rifles as well. So you're saying JKS is going to have an AUG in there, and so that would be a nice welcome sight. And if the Renegades can at least stop the first two entries from ISURUS, which has been a problem from them, Renegades can then come out on top of this even with weapons disadvantage.
There's a couple issues with Renegades right now that we're going to have to watch out for. The fact that Liaz is the only person with a kit. The only real utility we're going to see is on the back of him as well. So Renegades as a whole right now, a very lackluster buy moving into this first gun round.
Yeah, Reversive already taken a lot of damage early on.
Yeah, he was contesting that B tunnels.
Yeah, they've lost the first two. Oh. This is aggression in mid and I believe underpass
lower
as
B.
well. So suddenly they've been caught completely off guard. I was debating whether the Renegades were going to play an aggressive stance. I didn't think they would. The reason I was thinking it was going to be aggressive is because sometimes in the third rounds the CTs have a burner round, quote unquote, but they've been hurt. Their money's not pretty, but they still played this like as if it were a burner round. Nice shot. Liaz will be able to take that one, and that is only max 1v4. Renegades do want to come out of this keeping everybody alive. You can see how many rifles that they've recovered, upgraded out of those MP9s. Big net positive for the Renegades right there.
Jacob's aggression there nets him a third kill on the round as well. Renegades are doing a great job of moving across this map. You're seeing those flanks round after round after round coming in. You saw it from Jacob, I believe, on the pistol round, and then moving into that force buy, or yeah, I do believe it was a force buy out of ISURUS, maybe just a little bit of a pistol buy. We saw another flank start to develop with Renegades, and then finally moving into this first gun round, Jacob flanking once again, able to pick up that third kill on the round to put Renegades on 13. But looking at ISURUS right now, well, because of the money loss bonus building up Dallas, they'll be able to pick up AKs. That bomb plant went down as well, and they're going to look towards that A bomb site for just a hard execute right now. It does look like they're going to rush out of Palace with a little bit of a pop flash from Noxie.
Is it timed grenades? No, they're going to slow down in Palace. If they were going to rush out of Palace, it would have been timed grenades that were setting down into the site. Jacob, though, he's not able to defend his initial defender, JKS. Aza, though, has shown up to the party. They're starting to lose on these trades, I feel like, if you're ISURUS' side. Renegades need to just back up and reset on this retake.
It does look like Renegades are going to let the bomb go down, are going to let these smokes fade before they begin anything right now. Liaz peeking out from spawn, not able to find Myron. And this is going to be ISURUS finding themselves in a 3-on-2 situation.
And Renegades might not want to risk this too much. They've got a lot of utility, but to disarm yourself, to disarm half of the guns you've got right now, just to throw a grenade is a difficult move. Jacob gets a one and done, leaving Smooya alone for the save at a distance.
Yeah, wise choice out of Smooya, not forcing the issue, not trying to go for this 1v2 situation. Just the fact that Renegades really have no economy within this round means that if Smooya goes down, it's going to be a long time before we see him pick up an op again. So a wise choice out of the UK player. ISURUS, on the other hand, a nice nice little Halls burst out of there. I thought they were going to pop flash out before they came, but they essentially just dry peeked out, caught the initial player in the site off, and were able to just flood out into that A-bomb site fairly uncontested.
It was
Myron picking off Aza, I do believe, or Liaz towards CT spawn really cemented the round.
They killed JKS right out of the gates, and I believe he was next to default box. And then the problem was that Jacob was up on stairs, and he was getting ready to smoke Palace. He just pulled a grenade out and sees that 2 terrorists are already rounding the corner.
Can't help his teammate.
Yeah, that's what ended up happening. So ISURUS just managed to out-time the Renegades right there. If there were rifles on shoulders, it would have been a different story, I feel like. So ISURUS taking some initiative. I was talking about how their entries have struggled a bit. Usually you're watching now, 1962 is the entry fragger for ISURUS, and he's been struggling today. He's currently 5 and 18, hoping to have a better start for himself. Now he leads the pack into the site. He goes down.
Oh, man.
Jacob takes down Myron as well with the Mag 7. Suddenly, things are not looking all too hot. You've got CTs that are up towards the Palace side as well. Jacob is above and behind him. He's upgraded to an AK right now. There's almost no way you could plant this bomb comfortably so. They're searching for him. Great shot from Noxy. It's actually assisted by Smooya, but it's a 2v2. Smooya's off is still in play. He needs to ring out and hit these guys because he can't rely on this MP9 to cut through head armor.
I love this out of the ISURUS side, just slowing down the round now. They're not forcing the plant. They're just looking for any overextension from the Renegades members that's going to give them an easier or higher probability of finding round success right now. But because of that, Liaz able to take down Noxe towards ramp. It's going to leave Max in this 1v2 situation. Both CTs knowing exactly where he is.
Yeah, they know that he's on the triple box plant. Smooya is just dialed in on the left side of the box, while Liaz is watching right side. Max needs to just divide this up. He doesn't spot Smooya. Now he swings out. Man, the timing from Smooya right there to duck and cover. He was staring at the left side of the box for so long. Decides to shoulder in. Just at the same time, he comes out, clears that angle, and finds that it is, in fact, spoiled intelligence. 14 now for Renegades.
Even in that situation, if Smooya had gotten into a bit of a longer fight going up against Max, we would have seen Liaz swing around the bomb site box and trade that one out fairly easily. But thankfully, I mean, Renegades able to keep 2 people alive. That's a little bit of money going into their pockets that they can drop guns to some of their teammates. ISURUS, on the other hand, this money loss bonus is still kicked in for them. They're going to have another gun round.
Well, very, very similar to what, I mean, you were just mentioning. Renegades T side, when they were losing rounds, they were still planting bombs. ISURUS are the same way. They've gotten 3 out of the 4 rounds that they've lost on this has come with bomb plants. So you've got 2,400 extra bucks in your bank account because of that. I don't know what angle. Man, that was a dirty one. JKS is on the site. He 2-taps reversive. Confidently so, and you really don't have too much of a chance after this. ISURUS 1-man standing against the 4, and after this round, it's only going to get a little bit worse. They've got a loss bonus that's maxed out, and let's see, I think they are about floating at that $3,000 mark. This is a yikes.
Yeah, unfortunately, going into this, what could be the final round, ISURUS will be looking to stay afloat with just pistols, armor. They'll have plenty of utility because of that fact. So I could imagine seeing them move towards that B bomb site, try and keep it a little bit tighter on their fights rather than going out A and have to deal with those long engagements. But we're going to have to see. ISURUS have favored this A bomb site through and throughout this T side half.
Yeah, well, that's similar to what they were doing against MIBR, remember? I mean, they were on Overpass. They were really just one shot over and over again on the B site. So they really rely on 1 or 2 strategies, ISURUS do, so they don't have the deepest of playbooks. It is a strike into the A site, plenty of utility pouring down into it. Headshot against JKS, he's able to get 1 and a little bit more against 1962, but still they stand. And this is similar to what we've seen from the Renegades. They don't necessarily have to take these fights straight up front, so Jacob, I would say, is actually overstepping his bounds. Nobody else was advanced. I was anticipating Renegades to just set back, reset. What a beautiful pop flash. Smooya catches a whiff of Noxy in there, but he misses his one and only shot, leaving Aza alone. And there's no chance for him, just as it was in the last round against ISURUS. Finally, ISURUS are able to make a statement that we can do the same.
Yeah, that's a great round out of the T side. Not only do they take JKS down very quickly within that A bomb site, but then they get aggressive. They realize that they can't take these duels with these CZs at a distance, so they force that connector issue, pushing in through the smoke as well as jumping towards that stairs and getting that first initial kill. Getting pop flashed in through that connector, picking up that kill onto Smooya gives them so much more room to work with Dallas, and at that point, it's just too hard for Renegades to get anything going.
Yeah, Renegades don't need to rush any issue here. They could have bought armor in behind these Deagles. They could have made a force buy out of this, but you can see that they have an 8-round lead, and there's no reason to rush the issue here. So just settle down, see if you get a kill or two. There's really no impact on this round for the Renegades one way or the other. If they do end up getting a lot of kills, it might hamstring the ISURUS and their rebuys into the next round. And really, I mean, their back's against the wall for the next 8 rounds. So ISURUS need to come out pretty A-OK. For quite a few of this. So Renegades getting a couple kills here might make things easier in the long run, but I think at the end of the day, this round is basically just a burner.
Yeah, Reversive should be able to pick up this kill here as he's watching his teammates back as Myron watches a ramp. Reversive concentrating on those halls, able to take down Jacob, and the final 3 members of Renegades will be favoring that B bomb site, so this should be a very easy round for ISURUS to pick up here. 15-8 is what I expect the scoreline to be momentarily.
Yeah, for sure. But really, if we have to think about 15-9, 15-10. How can ISURUS manage to win 8 rounds in a row at this point?
Well, Dallas, I live my life a quarter mile at a time. Okay, so we're gonna let it progress first.
All right,
and then we'll start thinking about it.
If we go 1 round at a time, I'm just trying to think the bigger picture. ISURUS need to have a deeper playbook to be able to win 8 rounds in a row, which at the end of the day, this would be, if they managed 15-15, it'd be a 9-round streak.
Yeah.
Neither team has been able to do
I like that
you
mentioned the deeper playbook, because what we've seen out of them is just a consistent force towards that A bomb site. They love that A bomb site. You can tell they're way more comfortable moving towards that site than they are towards the B bomb site. Even on their default, really, they don't look as comfortable as they do moving into A. So yeah, you're right. For ISURUS, eventually Renegades is going to catch on to this and say, all right, look, let's just play 3 committed to A. Go for it.
I say Renegades just 5-stack A and mid.
I mean, put all your eggs in that basket. I mean, it's just a matter of time before they call that audible play. So for ISURUS, what's left in their playbook now? Or do they have a B execute? Do they have a fast mid to B? Do they have a fast mid to A? We're going to have to find out.
I was actually super surprised because before that round started, I'm like, okay, ISURUS know that Renegades are on an eco. Renegades know that their opponents know they're on an eco. So what do? Usually when you're playing anti-eco in ISURUS' stance, let's go pay those respects to the B site. And I was thinking, okay, I bet Renegades are going to 5-stack this B site and catch that, or try to catch that. Instead, no, it doesn't happen. Again, it's an A strike over and over again. So whoever's the anchor over on the B site for the Renegades is probably pretty bored.
As somebody that's anchored B on Mirage throughout my playtime, it's a very boring site. You get action maybe once, twice per half. Anyways, though, as we look at this round right now, ISURUS, well, we were talking about them favoring that A bomb site. Dallas does look like they're going to favor a default here into this round. We're going to see a couple players moving towards those B tunnels as 1962 starts to come up through that underpass. Max getting ready to smoke off window. 1962 smoking off top of connector. And it does look like there's going to be a little bit of cap pressure.
Ooh, the boost from Smooya. There's a Molotov that comes in. Max survives. That pierced through the wall and shouldered Max, so he is able to survive at that. But it's a little bit of a skirmish and things settle back down. So they are going to pressure B, it looks like here. They're postured for it. They want to be able to hold this catwalk side. They've got 2 players ready to round the corner. Max is in and through. 2 players up in the apartments as well. They take the first fight. Az is giving some hold on this side for catwalk, but they have to worry about Max, who's made his way around the corner and deeper into the site. They will evict those 2 players, and now Renegades have to think. If they don't get a kill outright again, you don't have to continue to roll these dice. You can say, okay, let's just collect ourselves. We'll be able to get another full buy in the next one. Renegades, all they really need is the openers and the entry frags to go their way 1 round.
Exactly, and for that reason, like you just said, they don't need to force the issue. They're going to go ahead for the save. So ISURUS, changing it up. We were talking about what they have left in their playbook, and they pull out a little bit of a default towards B.
Coach E mode.
And it could have been scary there, as Smooya did miss that initial shot, right? And if Smooya connects on that, not only does he get the man advantage, he keeps cat control. They have an idea of what's going on, but because Smooya misses it, it forces Renegades back into this little huddle within the B bomb site. Makes it easier for ISURUS there than to basically come in and pick off the players one by one.
So you mentioned being the B-side defender, B-side anchor.
Yeah.
It's very similar to, I don't know if you played Little League Baseball. It's like, okay.
Third base?
Dallas, why don't you go be outfielder?
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
It's like, dude, nobody ever hits the ball in the outfield in Little Leagues. You go stand out there and count the dandelions.
That's a good point, too. I played outfield a couple times.
Yeah, me too. I had one of my most embarrassing moments that is scarred into my mind right now after what, 25 years after the fact is I remember my coach going, all right, Dallas, you go out there, go to right field. And I'm thinking, I overthought it. I'm like, is he talking about my right from home plate or my right as if I'm standing out on the outfield. So I asked him the question. He's like, oh boy, you need help.
I feel bad for the IGL that you play for. Oh man, 15-9 is our scoreline here. Dallas's freeze time is coming undone. We are going to see Renegades saving those weapons. We were talking about the fact that they weren't going to force the issue. So Jacob able to keep that M4, Smooya able to keep his AWP, and you were saying as well the fact that they just need a couple of entries to go their way. So looking at this round, I could imagine Smooya is going to look to get very aggressive, maybe towards this connector, towards middle, and hopefully open something up. And yep, that's exactly what's going on. And they're right back to B.
Yeah, right back to B. Man, I mean, we were talking about ISURUS not having a deep playbook, but they are actually managing to throw rock and scissors at the right times, at the right places against the Renegades. And so far, so good. And you're getting a kill here or there. I think the two weapons that you really just want to keep in tow. So keep an extra hand in the case that Smooya drops this off.
Smooya might be able to pick up another one here. As 1962's hanging out on the edge of this balcony, just dropping into sight. Smooya able to take him down now, and we've got a 4-on-3 retake situation.
I actually don't think the Renegades are going to retake this. They might throw the pistols in there and get dirty, but I really think this is still just a safe situation for the Renegades. Smooya takes a lot of damage. Jacob loses his rifle out there, but yeah, they've actually encroached into the site, doing damage. They've got a good chance now.
Oh,
Someone's going to have to pick up the kit, though. Do they have a
They've got it. They've got it. I believe. They've got it. There's plenty of time.
Azza thinks it. Everybody else thinks it,
Plenty
too.
of time.
Plenty of time. You did the math. All right, yeah.
There you go.
Who's getting there? Wow, I thought they were just going to end up